For Mawlana Shaykh's teaching in these holy nights and reminder of Muharram and reminder of Mawlana Shaykh's teachings and Shuhadaika Imam Hussain alayhi salam and all of these different realities in days of difficulty. Mawlana Shaykh reminding us that the ocean of faith is not an easy ocean to swim in. Those that have not been tested, they don't understand. That just to presume you have faith is not correct. You have merely accepted a path or a way. Then Allah clarifies that we are going to test you as we have tested those who came before you of the Prophets and the Saints, and we're going to test you with your property, with your family, with your wealth, with your life, with everything. Means then the ocean of iman is the sample or example of these holy days, that they are given in order by Allah through Amr Jabbar, that for Imam Hussain to be on Hajj and to be with Ahl Mecca, and insisting that people are calling for him and asking for him to come. And the whole story can become very long, and the gist of tonight and the understanding for tonight is that nobody understood that why you have to go when you know that they have treated your descendants badly, they treated your father badly, they are going to cause harm to you, and they're not going to complete their faith in supporting you. And he says that, alayhi salam, I have to go. And he knows within his heart, alayhi salam, what Allah wants. He's not guessing, He's huge awliya Allah. And teaching for us that when Allah inspires within the heart and we know within our being there's something we have to do, everyone may come against and say that it's not necessary. And with all his insistence alayhi salam, I must go. Then they said, well, why then do you have to take your family and your children? And again, always people intervene to bring doubt, and always shaitan going to try to block the maqam al-iman. And these are the maqam al-ihsan from Imam Hussain is not something even imaginable. For our daily lives we have to take these events and use in our daily life, that they're reminding for us that when difficulties and testings come, nobody understands. You only understand because it's based on your faith. Everybody knows in their heart when they're requested to do something, when their heart is telling them, you must do this. When their faith and their teachers are teaching and inspiring that it's best to do this, these are now the oceans of faith. And the ocean of faith then requires a tremendous amount of belief to step into that faith and to know that Allah is there. And then we find how difficult and vast that ocean is. In our lives, Mawlana Shaykh's teaching and our daily life, our life is like a boat with a sail. And we put up the sail, and wherever the wind is blowing, it looks like we are going. But to live like that is very difficult. That everything in our being and everything around us, wife and children and husbands, everybody wants to know, what's the plan this week? What's the plan next year? What's the plan 5 years from now? What are the plans for their education and their schooling? Ahlul Iman and the people of Iman, they have no plans whatsoever. Because any plan you make, Allah going to break, and it may not be the plan that Allah has for you. And the people of faith are being taught daily, cut these strings, cut these strings. Stop trying to attach yourself to something and to get a grasp on your mind of what's going to happen, when is it going to happen, and how long I must be there. By virtue of the word iman means that you don't know, and Allah doesn't have to tell you anything. Otherwise that wouldn't be faith. So they kept telling Prophet ﷺ, why Allah doesn't send the angels and the angels talk to us and prove there's Allah? It's if the angels came, the issue is resolved, you are going to all be immediately judged. The whole ocean of faith, by word of faith, means you have to act on something that's something you really can't touch, it's not tangible. It's something like love within your heart. You know what love is if you've been in love. If you don't, then there's no need to talk about it, because we're all just going to, well, what is love? I don't know, is it like a kebab? Is it like a juice? But when you know what love is, you know what love is, and you know when you're in love or not in love. And you know what you do for love. If loved one goes, you running. So Allah said, then don't doubt, that's faith. If you really believe in me, cut these strings and don't keep asking me what's going to happen. I don't want to reveal to you. That is the ocean of faith. I want you to live a life like you're walking on water. And every step requires a tremendous amount of belief that, Ya Rabbi, are you there? Because I'm going to step and I think I'm going down. And again Allah's hand is there, Allah's hand is there, Allah's hand is there, until the poem about the footsteps that I walked through difficulties and I felt I was alone, and Allah explained, you were never alone, I carried you through everything. At the end of our life we'll realize that. But in this day and at this time, our life is like this carpet. We only see all the knots, all the difficulties, all the obstacles. That I can't follow Shaykh because of this problem, because of that problem, because of this money, this issue, this location, this direction. And all we see is a series of knots, and then only Allah come into our lives and say, look, Allah is weaving a carpet with your life. That for you it's just knots. At the end of these knots it will unfold as a tremendous carpet. This is the carpet of faith. That's why all our associations have these carpets. These are the symbols of our faith. If we can get through all of the knots and all of the problems and all of the doubt, every one that we move through, it cuts and blows and vanishes. And we find ourselves at a new level of belief, a new level of understanding. And if your actions are good and you're good with your Lord, your account is settled with Allah, and we know our account. We know when we're good with Allah, Allah is happy with us. We know that we've prayed, we did our best, we tried to be of service. If your account is good with Allah, why wouldn't His support be there? Why, if you're hungry, Allah going to send you stones to eat? Astaghfirullah. But if my account is not good, then don't expect kebab, don't expect everything to be great. If your count is not good, you are going to face difficulties. But alhamdulillah, we are the people of zikr and gathering and trying our best to improve ourselves. So then everything that's going to build us is important for our faith. And they use these circumstances in life to build faith. Means just coming here and the Shaykh says, come on Friday night, come on Thursday night, come on Saturday night. Says, I have work, I have business, I have money, I have obligations. Everybody does. You're not the only one and the clever one with a job. We all could have chosen jobs, we all could have done many things. Everybody right now, unless we have anybody here who needs to be here and needs to be eating here, which alhamdulillah we don't. Everyone could have thought of a place to go, an entertaining place to go, a place to go and make money. But the fact that we all cut that and say, no, I'm going to go remember my Lord, I'm going to go back into the associations of remembrance, I'm going to sacrifice from my time, sacrifice from money, sacrifice from my pleasures to go towards the Divinely Presence. Then a reminder always in our life that we all are in the same boat. Everybody could have had more hours for work, everybody could have had many different things. The benefit of coming into a community and an association is that you're not the first one going through it. The reason that you have a shaykh and a guide is that you look in his life and say that his example of his life is setting the circumstances of everyone and what they should be following. The fact that his own life, he doesn't know where he's going. Every moment the flag the wind is blowing in this direction and that direction. Means he can't come and tell you, no, I know now 10 years what our plan is going to be. If you would have asked me 15 years ago, I thought I was in Los Angeles. From Los Angeles I would have never imagined that we moved to Washington. From Washington I would have never imagined we moved to Michigan. From Michigan I never would have imagined that we moved to Vancouver, outside of America. All my life I'm raised as American, USDA. From the USDA is for the hot dog, right? Not USA, USDA. Means it's certified beef from America. We're stamped with the American hormones because they fed us well there. All the way from Michigan, East Coast, all the way back, West Coast into Vancouver. And then from Vancouver, all the excitement within Vancouver. This is the ocean of faith that we are small examples of big saints, what they've gone through. And in these days Imam Hussein is reminding that my life was based on sacrifice. If anything, look to my life and look to the difficulty that I faced, and I faced it with such a courage and such a love that today when we remember we feel ashamed. Do you know why people are slapping themselves? Why Allah inspires them to slap themselves? Because they're ashamed. They're ashamed that they don't have the faith that He has. And we should all feel ashamed that the faith that He has alayhi salatu salam, that I'm going with my wife, I'm going with my children, I'm going with the females and the women of the community and that tribe, and whatever Allah wants for us is going to take place. And there is no refuge from Allah. If Allah wants it, there's no way we're going to hide here to avoid it. And then you hear about his life alayhi salam and you cry out of shame. There's no other reason to cry out of shame that we're not going to ever reach this level of faith. What type of sacrifice you had, what type of belief you had, what type of love for Prophet you had, what type of love for Divinely Present you had, and just grant me just a drop from your faith. Grant me a drop from what Allah has given you of greatness to be Sayyid al-Shuhada. You are the masters of all those who come against their desires, come against even their own physicality. And then he says, then you can do that on a daily basis. Every time you are trying to move towards faith and you think it's going to be difficult, I remember my life and nobody asked you to be slaughtered, nobody asked your children to be slaughtered, nobody asked all your loved ones to be slaughtered. All you have to slaughter is your own desire. And alhamdulillah, inshaAllah, we pray in these holy days that we learn from the oceans of faith and that we come against our desires and we open more and more ways towards our belief, more and more time towards our belief, more and more love towards our belief. And that belief means everything you put into your dunya has no benefit whatsoever for you. Every time that you put in for your work, you get a little bit of pay and no benefit on your eternal soul. Everything you do towards yourself and your physicality, very little benefit if any to the soul. But when we take 5 minutes away or 5 hours away from work and come to Allah, He says that hour you took from work, maybe $10, $20, $30 depending upon how much you make, but you don't know what type of reward I'm going to eternally dress your soul from. If you were a zerang, if you were a clever businessman, you should have seen that reality. It's $20 or eternity. And most people pick the $20. This is something wrong in the bargain. So then we pray that in the ocean of faith, we cut that desire down. I said that 1 hour I can spend with Allah, what He is going to dress me, unimaginable. That $1 I spend in the way of Allah, what He is going to dress me, unimaginable. Means that movement towards the ocean of faith is what we're praying in these holy days. That remember the lives of great people, but most important, remember the lives of everything was based on faith, and they sacrificed only for faith and for their souls to reach Allah's heavenly rida and satisfaction. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon, salamun al mursaleen, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa, wa basir Surat al-Fatiha.
Oh people, come to him, come to the way of Sultan Rabbiya, most honored one and most glorious